Hi, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss the one of the mysterious topic in JavaScript, that is this keyword. Okay, so what is actually this keyword and why do we need to learn it? What is the significance of this keyword? Okay, let's understand it with a simple story. Okay, so for example, imagine you are a hero of Earth. Okay, and Earth wants you to go on a voyage to planet Mars. So, like, as a hero of Earth, you just take a spacecraft, and it got some remote navigations like start button and navigate to Mars button. So that you just click on start button and navigate to Mars button, so that the AI will take care of starting your voyage and taking you to the Mars. But so, but the thing is, like, when you are like traveling or like going on a voyage to the Mars, right? Suddenly your spacecraft got damaged. So luckily you come to know that before, and you just ejected yourself from the spacecraft, and luckily you got landed onto a mysterious planet. Okay, mysterious planet. So you just searching for desperately searching for some resources so that you can make a contact with Earth. So as you are lucky, so you got one small space shuttle on this planet. Okay, and you got inside of it, and you found a arrow shaped remote in it. So so as you already know that AI will take care of it, you press the start button. But unfortunately, this space shuttle didn't start. Instead, a bigger spacecraft got started, and you just came like come from there to here, and you just fly back to the Earth. It's a happy ending, right? So let's relate this a simple story to our concept. So here, if you see, these remotes are there, right? These are like these two remotes are like these keywords. Okay, these methods, these buttons are there, right? The start button and navigate button, these are like a methods in a object. Methods in a here we are assigning a regular function as a value to the methods here. That's why this present inside this, I mean, this remote represents the owner spacecraft, like where the remote lies, it represents that, points to that particular spacecraft. Coming to here methods, start method, navigate method are there, right? Those methods we use arrow functions, and we design the remote in a arrow shaped. That's why. So because of that, instead of this remote points to its owner object, owner spacecraft, it points to its parent spacecraft. All I want to convey you guys that if we use this keyword inside a regular function, then this points to the owner object. But if we use arrow functions, this keyword represents its parents lexical scopes. This, so in our daily day-to-day code basis, right? Just for example, there is a method, okay, which got a regular function as a value to it, and inside this we are using this keyword and doing some manipulations. So you just onboard it to the project, and you just replace this regular function and with the arrow function, then you are making a lot of difference in the code. You may create a lot of bugs as well. So let's not do that mistake. Let's understand this keyword in depth. Okay, let's get started. This keyword behaves in different scenarios in different ways. So let's go one by one. Okay, for example, the first scenario is whether it is a regular function or an arrow function. If it is defined if it is defined outside any function, outside of any function or a method, then this keyword which is present inside these functions, right, it points to the window object. Here we are discussing about sloppy mode, not the strict mode. And the second scenario is how this keyword which is present inside a regular function or an arrow function, okay, and that particular regular or arrow function assigned as a value to the method in an object, then how will they behave, how this behaves. So if it is a function, regular function, which is assigned as a value to a method in an object, then this keyword inside that regular function represents owner object. If it is an arrow function, right, it it points to the parent's lexical scopes. This, if you don't know what is a lexical scope, just write, like note down as a parents functions, parent functions this, okay. And then we will need to discuss how this keyword points when we are using in an event listener and inside a constructor function and inside classes as well. We'll see one by one with code examples, okay. So let's discuss this table as well. So we have already discussed these functions and arrow functions which are defined outside any function or a method. Those two will point to the window object. When it comes to function, regular function assigned as a value for a method in an object, then it refers to the owner of that method, okay. Refers to the owner of that method. If arrow function assigned as a value to the method, then it will inherit this from the surrounding lexical scope. When it comes to a event listener, right, it actually points to the dom element, on like dom element of a particular element, okay, onto which the event listener got attached. So, and then constructor function. So if you know what is a constructor function, then it's good. Constructor function is a special type of function which creates object instances. And then next, classes, right. Classes also, like while working with object oriented programming, when we try to create instances, right, how this behaves inside that class. So like in both the cases, actually, even if we use arrow function or normal regular function as well, it refers to the particular instance that is being created, okay. There will be no confusion in like while working with these three steps. But while working with methods, and that too with arrow functions, we will get confused. That we will discuss in depth, okay. So here if you see, these two are outside of any method or function, so they are just globally they are declared, right. So when I try to execute this, both of these functions, right, so the this refer like this points, this points to the window object. As we discussed, this points to the window object. And coming to the function, regular function assigned as a value to the method in an object, in that case, if we use this here, okay, it will represent the owner of that particular method. So here the owner of this method is car object, so car will be printed. What if we use arrow function here, as we discussed, right. So if we use the arrow function inherits the this from the parent lexical scope, right. Like parent functions this, okay. Where is the parent function? So we need to come out of this object. Here it is getting called, right. So here the globally, so there will be lexical scope will point to the null. So we can consider this outside of this present outside of this object will be the parent functions for this arrow function. So if we console log, okay, this here, whatever this that is present here, that will be inherited to here as well. So if we execute, yes, so it will be the window object, Okay, so when it comes to the event listener, right? So for example, I have a button here and I have added event listener to it, click event, and I'm just trying to console this when a click event gets occurred. So whenever I click on button, right, so this is DOM element is getting triggered. Okay, and now so comes the and now constructor method. So constructor functions are like, special functions where like the like function name will be started with a capital letter, and we would call that uh, construct function with a new keyword while passing some arguments. So it actually create object instances. Okay, it creates objects. So even if we use a arrow function here or a regular function, it will every time this present inside this constructor function, right, this represents to the instance that is being created. Okay, if you try to hit enter, you can see the instance Alice, the person one instance, is getting logged. And now comes the classes. So I have an animal class and I'm creating a dog instance, okay, from that parent animal class. So if we try to console like console this inside this animal class, right, so it will give the dog instance. Okay, what this represents in a class is the instance that is being created. Let's discuss this example. Here we got a function here inside a set timeout, and it is present inside a function. This function is getting assigned as a value to this method start, and the start method is a part of this core object, and all of this method is a part of this function, and this function is assigned as a value to the fun method, and this fun method is present inside the object method. Now, yeah, it's it looks a bit complex, but it's very easy. Try to pause the video, understand the scenario. Okay, now try to guess the output here. So here, when set timeout, when the timer gets done, right, we are not calling any method, so automatically this callback is getting triggered. So it is independent of any method, right? So whenever a function independent of any method or a function, okay, if it gets executed and this is present inside that method, where it will points to, it should be pointing to the window object. Let's see it. Yes, it is pointing to the window object. What if we replace the regular function to arrow function? So remember the rules of arrow function, right? So this inside this arrow function represents the this lexical this means parent functions this. Here the parent functions this present here, right? So here is the parent function. So this parent function, like we need to find out the parent functions this. If you console log here, whatever gets printed here, right, that needs to be inherited to the this keyword which is present inside this arrow function. So this is a function, normal regular function, right, assigned as a value to this method. So what this present inside this regular function represents the owner object. So the car object is the owner for this function, right? So this represents car. So here this, if this represents car, then this also represents car. Let's see. Yeah, my bad. See, both are printing car. Now what if I replace this function to arrow function, what will happen? So again, we need to apply the rules of arrow function. So it will point to the parent scopes this. It inherits the parent functions this. So here the parent functions for this object is like parent functions for this function is this one, this function, right? So here we need to console.log this. Whatever this comes here, right, that will be inherited to this, and from here it will be inherited to here. So here this represents what? So it's a regular function, so it represents the owner object, that is this object. Okay, let's see, got it? And now if I replace this function as well with the arrow function instead of regular function, what will happen? See the magic, because here the lexical scope got ended. Now the lexical scope points to the null. That's why when there is no lexical scope, then whatever the endpoint, the window is the endpoint of lexical scope. At that time, window will be inherited to here, and from there to here, from there to here. Got it? If you don't understand it, just go back to the video and just listen again. Okay, I think you understand this in a clear way. If you have any doubt or suggestions, just comment down, I'll try to answer them. Let's not make any mistake with this keyword anymore. Okay, thank you, bye.